And we are live. You already know who it is. My name is Mike Kyle, aka the Fantasy Vulture. I have over a decade worth of fantasy football experience, and I've continuously competed for fantasy championships over the course of the past 8 seasons. Let's make it 9 in 2021. But enough of me. I'm here for you. On today's episode of the FV Show, we're going to continue our 2021 NFL rookie profiles, breaking down on some of the higher end rookies and breaking them down for fantasy football purposes before the NFL draft. And then we'll probably revisit them from time to time afterwards and just kind of give you the new lay of the land for them. But we've already covered Najee Harris, Kyle Pitts, and Jamar Chase, and now our first quarterback, Mr. Sunshine himself, Trevor Lawrence. So if you're excited for this video, be sure to hit that like button down below. Also smash that subscribe button so you never miss a video from me. We got like 30 more rookies to cover in like 25 days, so we're going to be on our grind from here until the NFL draft, and of course all the content afterwards. Follow me on all social media platforms at FFVulture, and you can also check out the website ffvulture.com for some premium fantasy football packages. Be sure to check that out. I promise you will love what you see over there. Now, enough of the bullshit. I'm ready, because I got some thoughts on Mr. Lawrence, so let's just dive right in. Of course, we're using JustBombProductions for these. Alright. Show me what you got, Trevor. I mean, like this, right? Like, we're just going to start off nice and simple here, right? Just nice little fake and automatic, right? Because like that's the thing with this Clemson team. Just you have to guard everybody. What a gun. What a dart that was. Another fake. Damn, it's... Right, it's like the thing that him and Burrow have in common, like very, very similarly, is just their big-bodied play styles, right? I think Burrow is like 6'4", 6'3". Lawrence is 6'6", and like it's just they just use their athleticism to just create big plays for themselves. Both outside of the pocket like this. What a great throw on the run there, but then also with their legs and their ability to scramble. We're going to see another one here. And like that, it's really interesting, right? Because I'll say it, we don't think of these guys as dual threat quarterbacks, but that is what they could become. Just a rocket there. That's a really good back of the end zone throw. Pump fake. Damn. Another really good throw there. I mean, like, right, like, it's obviously every throw is supposed to be great because it's a highlight, but just, you're just looking at the distance and the accuracy that he's putting on some of these balls. Damn. Alright, what else we got? Show me something else. Yeah, that was a dangerous throw. That was a better catch than it was a throw. Yeah, he threw that through 2 guys, which I guess cool, but that probably should have been picked. I mean, that's always, you know, like that's always the interesting thing about evaluating quarterbacks is, number 1, nobody knows how to fucking do it, but then number 2, like, if you watch highlights like this, just, yeah, throw it to the open guy. Like, this, you know, not rocket science. But then you do shit like this, and it's like, oh, well, this is really impressive stuff, right? Like, you're just throwing that shit on a rope. There we go. Like exactly. Like, give me stuff like that. That's a really great throw. Throws it to the outside of the defender, and just enough room there for Williams to come down with that. Another keeper up the middle. Sunshine John just a little bit. What else we got?
As Lawrence was already in the end zone. recruitment in high school, I want them to lose every game. Trevor Lawrence, he's going to look up top. He's got a
Just another gun. Okay, what else we got here? Another play action. Just keeper. Gets in the end zone. Okay. Like, do we really need to keep going here? Like, it's Trevor Lawrence. We know what we're doing, right? Really nice move there, getting to the outside. Alright, cool. So just watching that and going back to what we saw from that tape, we've known about Trevor Lawrence for the past 3 years, right? We haven't had people shut up about Trevor Lawrence for the past 3 years. Tank for Trevor, lose for Trevor, right? Lose for Lawrence, tank for Trevor, whatever one you want to use. It's been the narrative since he stepped foot on Clemson's campus, right? So we know he's going to go number 1 to Jacksonville. They're not going to overthink this, so we already can kind of start game planning and scripting things about Lawrence and his NFL future. But before we do that, let's actually jump over to the numbers, and then we'll break it down from there. So here we go. Trevor Lawrence, he's 6'6", 220. I mean, this dude is just a monstrous human. Not even in terms of like a weight and physicality, but just as like a height, just in terms of like sheer height, number one. And then he does have just some natural bulk to him with that as well. Scroll down to the numbers here in terms of just a collective. I think the thing that personally frustrates me the most is the fact that we had the 2019 year, and then it felt like that we had a major drop-off from 2019 to 2020. So just to kind of compare those two, in 2019, 3,600 yards, 36 touchdowns, 8 picks, 9 yards per attempt, and a 65 completion percentage, as well as 563 rushing yards, right? Like, and 9 rushing touchdowns. So we have that. Like, that's really important. But then you go down to this past year, and I personally think it was a Clemson thing. Like, Clemson last year didn't look great. You look at the number, you look at the dip in production that Travis Etienne had as well. He wasn't good. Lawrence numbers by comparison weren't great. You're looking at 60 or 70 less pass attempts, 500 less yards, a larger yards per attempt, which is cool, a higher completion percentage, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense based off of that, 12 less passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and 177 rushing yards compared to the 563 that he had the year before. So you definitely saw that dip. And my biggest concern here actually with Trevor, and this is going to sound really weird, but I need you to hear me out. My big concern with Trevor Lawrence is the fact that I feel like he didn't get better as he progressed through college. If you were to just look at what he was doing in 2018 and then look at what he was doing in 2019 and 2020, there really isn't much of a difference. And that's not to say that Trevor Lawrence is bad by any means or that he's not already great. But the question that I'm really asking myself is, how much better can Trevor Lawrence actually go from here? Because from year 1 to year 3, I didn't really see it, right? So like, we know how great Trevor Lawrence was / is right now. But is he able to progress any further? Or is he just gonna kind of come in and kick ass at the NFL immediately without really taking another jump or another leap? That's really the big question that I have for Trevor Lawrence as he's about to enter his NFL career. Let's dive through the game logs here, and just for shits and giggles, let's go to 2019 as opposed to 2020, because I think that 2019 was his best season. And actually, before we even do that, like, think of like the completion percentage though there, right? Like 65%, pretty good. It's not great, right? But even still, having that nice jump up to 69 is cool. But it's just, for how much hype that we bring for Trevor Lawrence, it's like, maybe feels like maybe he should be completing a larger percentage of his passes. But anyway, we're here 2019, and let's just kind of run through what his numbers are. So the interesting thing that I'm looking at off the bat is he had all of his interceptions in the first 7 games, and then everything else after that is just 0 in this column. So he had 8 interceptions through 7 games, and then went through his next 8 games and had 0. Really impressive stuff right there from TL. The passing yard, but right in, like, you look at some of these games here, it's like a 75% completion percentage, a 74%, a 77, 72, 72. But then you just have like these just duds. I mean, he's just got his fucking shit kicked in. You're looking at a 54 completion percentage versus Ohio State, a 48 versus LSU. You're looking at another game up here versus Syracuse where he was at a 56. You see another 56 here versus Georgia. Like, for how great Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be, the fact that he is not as accurate as consistently as he should be really is mind-blowing to me. The passing yardage, just pretty consistently around that 250 range. Just kind of going through like this little stretch here, 233, 275, 218, 276, 272, and then you have like 300, I mean, like the typical numbers that I would expect Trevor Lawrence to have in the NFL is probably around like 260, right? Like that feels like a pretty good number for him. The touchdowns, he's a quarterback. He's playing against college defenses. I expect these numbers to be high. There should be a lot of 3 and 4 TD games, which we do see here. But then like let's just go to the rushing yards as well. The attempts here, I mean, you're looking at a pretty consistent number of attempts. There are some that skew higher in those double digits, but by and large, you're looking at about 7 or 6 attempts a game. And within those, he's getting you 40, 45 rushing yards. And again, we love that for fantasy football just because of the fact, hey, if he does throw 2 picks, congratulations, you're negated. And if not, you have 4 additional points through rushing and his ability to get into the end zone as well, just in short yardage plays. 3rd and 2 at the goal line. If it's, just a 1st and goal at the 1, just nice little play action, maybe with James Robinson, and then just a QB keeper up the middle. Or they just run a QB sneak automatically, right? Who knows? Who's to say? But you definitely already know the kind of player that Trevor Lawrence is, right? And now let's kind of project him, actually. Let's project him out to the Jag. That's where he's going to go. And what do we think is going to happen there? I am really curious to know what else Jacksonville does in this draft, right? You look at their core as of right now. They have so many draft picks. It would be Trevor Lawrence. It'd be DJ Chark, James Robinson. They just signed Marvin Jones this offseason, who's one of the best number 2 wide receivers in the NFL. And then you also have second-year rookie out of Colorado, Laviska Shenault, a guy who's just this kind of Swiss Army knife, can do a lot of different things on the field and can be used in a lot of different ways. That core, as of right now, is really solid. The only thing I have to say is I feel like it's just missing that extra punch. It's missing that extra punch, that extra weapon that's really going to take this offense to the next level. I'm curious to know what they do in the NFL draft here because I'm pulling up the draft order right now. Like, the Jags have the 1st pick. They have the 25th pick. They have the 33rd pick, which is the 1st pick in the 2nd round, and they have the 45th pick, which is the 12th pick in the 2nd. Like, they have a lot of capital here, and this class is wide receiver deep. It's not as deep as I would say in terms of talent compared to last year's, but you can definitely find guys that you can probably slide right into your offense in those spots. And I'm very curious to know what they do in that regard. Because again, I just look at it and it's like, this team on offense is probably just another piece away. Just another weapon away, I should say, from just being an absolute juggernaut, especially if you do throw in Trevor Lawrence. As far as outlooks go, I do think it's too early for me to articulate what I expect Trevor Lawrence to be in year 1. But he absolutely has the tools to just come in and be a Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow that we saw this past season. Like, that should be the expectation, I think, for Trevor Lawrence. And anything else less than that, I think, would be considered a disappointment. But that is what I got for Trevor Lawrence. Definitely an easier one to do just because of the fact we already know where he's going to go, so we don't really have to try and predict anything of that nature. And we really are just breaking down tape, even though we've known everything about Trevor Lawrence. I do have my concerns, just some simple things, just such as being a more consistent passer. That's really the big thing, and then just the fact of, did he really progress at all from year 1 to year 3 at Clemson? Those are my two big concerns. But let me know yours in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence. If you're a Jags fan, how excited are you? And yeah, hit that like button down below. Subscribe so you don't miss a video from me. Follow me on all social media platforms at FFVulture, and check out the website ffvulture.com for some premium fantasy football packages. You will not be disappointed what you see over there. Remember, people come and go, but fantasy championships are forever, and I will see you in the next video.